the film is always credited to the male actor.
I think there are a lot of powerful women in our industry.
It's not even about the guys. It's like us working hard, playing hard, living our life. It really has nothing to do with anyone else.
So we're going to talk about Sui Dhaga. We're talking about your characters, your journeys, and also like how important the message that the film is trying to communicate, that you do something for yourself, and that's always going to be more gratifying. So I will start with you, Anushka.
Okay.
है ना, cool तो तुम काफी हो ऐसे role model type of actor. She's a producer. She has her own business. She's married to a sweeto also, so that's great. But you're now also a meme. Congratulations.
Doesn't get better than that.
What's better than that?
That's something that's going to come in your profile. Also me.
Also now a meme. So
Raging meme queen.
in your career, what I really appreciate, and I know the audiences do also, that you ensure that your female characters, because that's the character you play, are very layered. So is this a conscious decision? Is it a responsibility you feel towards your fan? Or you would just not do
Yeah, no, also it's just representing the right kind of women, and also I feel like human beings are very, very complex creatures, you know, and I feel like a lot of times movies just make them very surface, like it's all like super superficial, whereas we are really complex people, and women are such beautifully complex creatures that it's so important to show them just the way they are. So I feel like there it becomes your duty, and not really like a duty because you must do it or because you know it's the right thing to do, but also because that's what you connect with. You want to see women and you want to portray women that you either know or you know you are.
Absolutely. So Malini, you, and I love you, you know that. But I think the whole Made in India, which I know for years we've had this conversation, that you started a blog where that career didn't exist in this country.
Yeah.
Like now everybody's a fashion blogger, lifestyle blogger, all of that. And now so many years later, like we host events, we make ad films, you started the Girl Tribe, hello girls. You know, like there's so much stuff that is happening, and how
when she actually started and I did the first ever interview with her, it was like a very new phenomena in the Hindi film industry. She was like this cool cat who had entered, and we were and a lot of people in like PR were like, "Ye karti kya hai exactly?" Ye kya? Because nobody knew the definition of exactly what a blogger would be and what it meant to do that. So actually, even the question that you want to ask, even I want to know this, Malini, that how did you think of doing this, and what was your experience from before this that you thought you can do
No,
this?
before you answer, I want to also quickly add one more thing, that the first time she interviewed me was in Delhi, and I was walking for Wendell Rodrigues for a fashion show, and
love
like
Wendell
PR people didn't understand what the force that she could be, and I remember they were like, we'll do your interview, they just kept saying that, we'll do the interview, and I kept looking at her, and I could see that, like, you know, she was like totally engaged, and like she was just standing out. So I remember telling her, I was like, come, let's do the interview.
Like, let's do it now.
I was like, let's do it now. No, it's fine. She doesn't have to wait. Let's do it right now. And we did the interview, and she asked me interesting questions.
Yeah.
And she was actually asking me questions related to like fashion, but not in the way that, you know, what's your favorite trend? Not those kind of questions. She was asking me interesting things about, you know, like the way I see things, or how to express myself, you know, as a fashion, you know, in terms of fashion. And I thought it was, you know, super cool.
Thank you, you guys are so sweet, and I think I have to say that you guys are the easiest and sweetest people to work with. I remember I asked Varun to come and do a Valentine's special with me.
Yeah, I remember.
He came and he hung out in a Google Hangout with all these girls. It was
That was so
sweet.
cool, actually.
It was really fun, and I
really
remember
cool.
every time I worked with you, and I remember we had to Goa as well,
Yeah.
and it was super fun. So to answer your question, I started it really as a hobby. I used to be a backup dancer for Sukhbir for 6 years.
Wow.
That's really, literally, yeah.
Any songs we know of?
Like all
Oh, you
of
were
them.
home.
Way in the back.
one of the babes.
So then I got into the whole digital thing with MTV, and I was a radio jockey for a long time, and you know, blogging wasn't a thing, but a friend of mine just sort of said, you know, because I used to write a gossip column called Malini's Mumbai in Midday. And
I remember
was
that.
like the first,
Oh, you were that. Oh,
that was, that month. And then
very
I just
spicy.
started it, And then I felt like I wasn't really writing anything of substance, so I started a blog, and in the blog I was able to really capture all the things that I love in India and the people that I've met, because I feel like it's amazing. So I grew up all over the world. My father was in the foreign service, and I remember I was 9 years old in Greece, and somebody said, "Oh, you're from India, do you go to school on an elephant?" I'm like, that would be effing awesome. But no, then I realized people don't know what it's like here. And so it was started by accident, but it's really something that I love so much, and I've got to meet such amazing people. I've got to interview such incredible people. I've got to look at the Girl Tribe, look at these amazing women. Some of them have come from out of cities just to meet us and talk to us, because they're all entrepreneurs. They're so, they have so much passion, you know, and I think people don't realize anymore about this audience, and that's what I love about this film,
So it's a
is that you're
passion.
encouraging people to think about
So I think quickly now tell people how much you're worth.
it. You tell me.
Okay, so you are a baby.
Who smells like?
Who smells like strawberry.
Oh,
तो ऐसे यशराज की पिक्चर में स्विट्जरलैंड में
अच्छा।
नहीं लेके गए तुम्हें
बिल्कुल नहीं।
तो बुरा तो तुम्हें लगा होगा but what I want to talk to you about is that your career, you've also spoken about this a lot, that you consciously decide to sort of balance the content and the commercial, and Sui Dhaga, just from the trailer it looks like it has managed to do that, and maybe it is more to Sharad's credit than to you. So first of all, do you agree? And second, that the communication that you're trying to make through the film, which is made in India, which is you do your own thing, how important is that to you at a personal level?
I think on a personal level, the Made in India theme in itself is something that is very, very important to me. I'm very patriotic just by nature, and I always say that patriotism doesn't need to be said or dharna nikalne ki zarurat nahi always. It's something that needs to be felt. So through art, this was a small way of us putting it forward and showing it in a nice light. Above that, I feel the balancing of commercial and content, I think, to some extent, I actually wouldn't give Sharad all the credit for this. I would actually give the credit to Anushka and me, because I mean, we are the commercial element
Absolutely.
in the film.
So Anushka, how much merit is it to sort of start your own production house so that you can control the kind of work you do? How much merit is it to start your own fashion brand? Is it just a creative call for an expression, or are you looking at these as financial investments for?
No, of course, of course. You're not going to do it, without the commerce part of it.
Yeah.
I think it's just important to do things and spend your time. I mean, we're very busy as it is, just being actors, and just doing films as an actor is a very, very tedious job. So if you're really diversifying yourself in the way that I did, it'll have to be something that you truly believe in, and it is something that comes very naturally to you. So for me, doing or starting Clean Slate Films was because I wanted to be able to tell some stories, and I felt like I should be able to utilize the position that I have, the standing that I have, to be able to tell these stories. And even with my clothing line, I just wanted to be able to create a brand which is truly Indian, and it's a a brand that girls from all over India, especially like interiors of India, can feel like, okay, this is something that we should own, or this is something that we should have.
So there's a girl from the tribe, I think, who has a fashion line or wants to work in fashion, is right there, and I think that's so inspiring, to have someone who's a role model like you that says, I can do it.
Okay, so Varun, you recently, I think this was your conversation with Anupama, if I'm not wrong, or Raji Masan, where you said that how you've been actively telling Alia that she should increase her price and how you'll get into so much trouble. Anushka for years has been talking about the disparity in the payments in the industry. Why are more people not doing this? Thank you for being on our side.
And to be honest, it's just about recognition. I think the problem now, what happens now with talking about it is it becomes just very loose talk, like actors are just talking about it and nothing is happening. So that demerits the whole conversation.
Yeah.
And I feel actions speak louder than words. I feel now with this topic of disparity of pay, I know a lot of people will say, let's talk about it, let's discuss it. I think there are a lot of powerful women in our industry, and I feel that change is towards happening, and I feel now I'd want to speak more for it and speak very proudly for it when it actually happens. When, when I do a film and I know that a co-actor of mine has charged that much, and then I'll come and announce the price, and then the producer will slap me. But I think I heard Shah Rukh sir also say this somewhere. The price is dependent on the recovery.
For sure.
I actually gave Anushka this very good example that she must sign this deal, because you see a lot of the big actors have a lot of satellite deals or digital deals. These deals are there.
Yeah.
As soon as you sign this deal, you know your worth.
Yeah.
कि अरे मेरा इसका इतना भाव है, because this is how much the films are selling for. This is the market price. This is how much the recovery of the film. So as soon as these big deals start, female actors start signing these deals, or the deal goes through, you will see, and it'll be a big deal.
But I also have a point of view on it. I think what you're saying is fair enough, but I think there also you understand that the industry has been built in a way that the film is always credited to the male actor.
Yeah.
So even the guys who the channels and stuff who are going to be striking a deal with you are not going to credit the film success to you.
Yeah.
So let's first reach a stage where you start crediting the success of the film to both actors.
So you're saying
the media also.
The deal might not be of that much value as it.
It will not be, because you're not crediting it.
And especially when you think
also,
of the masala films, तो उसमें तो hero की picture होती है.
No. Some films
see the reason why
but
because
you don't credit it equally.
But she's making content because she's a producer today. So I feel she has that little extra power. I may be wrong, because obviously I'm not in the position or in those meetings when they take place. And I feel 70 or 80% I am going to be wrong about this. But I'm hoping that it happens. Coming back to Sui Dhaga, I think it's even the dynamic of the unfair business practices that happen.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. And it's not just specific to the film industry.
No,
I mean, yeah.
I'm sure Malini, you must have faced it coming up as well in this world also. Obviously, it's digital, so it's a different ball game. But I'm sure you must have faced it at some point because you were trying to do something new, which people don't know about. So straight away you don't have that much power.
Mostly it's just people didn't understand digital, right?
Correct.
So it used to be the second last interview of 12 that you'd get, the
Correct.
second last
So
slot.
you
And now it's really changed.
But you
Yeah,
need to
now
stick
it's
it out.
yeah.
You needed to stick it out in
Yeah.
the initial years, like
Yeah.
try to be like no. And when they saw the
And
return,
you know, the other thing that I've seen, especially for us, I realized that journalism, especially here, has always been about ripping people apart. Which is
Yeah.
why, and I'm sure you feel it, right?
Yeah.
That I have to be really guarded that what are they going to ask me?
Yeah.
So it would always be a list,
I
don't
can't be
ask these
chilled out
5
about it,
questions,
yeah.
I can't be chilled out. And we always took the call saying why. I always thought it's so unfair that we love films, we love actors, we love everything. And the reason we love what they wear, where they go, who they date is an extension of that dream. So how hypocritical of us to sit there and rip them apart for little things.
when do you think it changed for you, this dynamic, when people started feeling like, okay, this matters now? Like it's almost like a business rising.
I think there were a couple of things. I mean, we broke a couple of big stories, but I think they started to realize, one, also relationships that we started to build, and that we were doing different content, so it was sort of standing out. So, like, we would play charades with you as opposed to ask you what fight you had with who, you know?
And also around the same time, social media sort of like became such a boon, right? Like
Yeah.
internet became the thing where the difference between the star and the audience was not.
And that's where the audience is sitting, right? Like I always say, you have to
Yeah.
go to where the party is, right?
Yeah.
So they're on Facebook.
And
Now
Instagram.
Instagram.
Now Instagram. What I want to ask you, Mali, that what is the role of men in general in sort of empowering women, or sort of, you know, like lending their voice to issues so that ki unki to sun rahe na koi.
So I
wo
think
bata
the
de.
most important thing is, so we also, like Girl Tribe, we have a group called Positive Masculinity,
Yeah.
which I think you're an example of, because this whole thing about saying that women, feminism, it's become this blind spot that, oh, feminist, hey, all these girls are on their thing. Unless guys support women, and we know so many great guys who respect women, who feel as awful when something abusive happens, we don't give them a voice. And sadly, because there is so much more anger and hate, we look at only the negative. But what if we also put a spotlight on the guys who are doing good? Let them be good role
But I
models.
think, you know, this is exactly the kind of conversation me and Anushka have been
Yeah,
having.
because,
She's
you know,
like, the
I
way
feel
it's
like-
explained, sometimes it's so
You know,
wrong.
I feel like feminism has got such a bad tag to it because of the way it's understood. It's seen as male bashing, as male hating, and that's really not
And
what
insecure women.
and
Yeah.
insecure women, and that's
And
really not what feminism
Nazi,
is about.
like Nazism and feminism is same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the thing is, feminism is, we're doing our own thing. Like, look, all the girls here, it's not even about the guys. It's like us working hard, playing hard, living our life. It really has nothing to do with anyone else.
Yeah, exactly. And I also feel like, for me, I think what will really help the society is if you understand that the only thing you should require from men is to listen and understand. I feel what happens is that we are so quick to judge them that we don't realize that they are also coming from a society which is heavily
But they've been fed
sexist.
this.
Sexist.
And they've been
They
fed
are-
this.
They are coming from the same society. So if, as women, you are like, sufferers of sexism, men are also, because they are coming from a society which breeds sexism. So they don't know any better.
But if someone explained it like the way you guys are talking about it, I'm sure more men would get it. And I'm
Hence
sure that
positive
now that
Positive
you're,
masculinity.
no, but I'm sure that now you are doing this so sweetly, there are going to be people who troll you all as well.
That's
For doing
fine,
it so
yeah.
sweetly.
But you know
I'm
what?
just saying
At the
that
end of the day,
that's the world
I
we live in
realized.
now today.
So my therapist
Unfortunately.
says the best thing. The best way to approach trolls is with a shield of empathy and kindness, not for them, but for yourself. Because when people are being mean to you, it has nothing to do with you. It's them going through some nonsense.
That's my biggest
Yeah,
belief. I mean,
for sure. You have to maintain your zen for sure.
really
Yeah.
I
And
feel
it's
like this
like
could be a talk
receiving
show.
end of
I feel we
It
could
is-
do this.
it's
I feel we
turned
could do
into-
this
it's turned
every
into a
weekend.
job.
Chalo, coming back to the movie.
Can we do this every weekend? Like we can have a show. Let's
Just
have
like
a show
this
about
nice
it.
little
We
podcast.
discuss these things.
Yeah.
Discuss our feelings
And I'm
about
very happy
society.
that I'm the only male on this.
Gold star.
Yes.
Too viral.
Positive.
Okay, about the film. So I recently spoke to Rajkumar Rao, and I thought he said something. Rajkumar, wow, am I right?
Rajkumar, wow. I think let's leave him that.
Everyone will think
Rajkumar,
Rajkumar, wow.
wow.
Like, yeah, Priya.
I think we'll be the host on the show.
Love it. Okay, so I asked him, I mean, he was talking about something, and then he said कि मुझे समझ नहीं आता है that every time any sort of physical transformation happens in a movie, सब पगला क्यों जाते हैं?
I hate it.
So
You know,
that-
the first few interviews I gave it, everybody was like, you've done a de-glam role, so like, how was it? I was like, what? It's very hard to look glamorous.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
Looking de-glam
Exactly.
is super easy.
मैं
It
आगे
takes
you
you
set पे.
20 minutes from the time I step into my van to the time I step out, 20 minutes, in which I've done hair, makeup, wardrobe, had coffee, made a phone call also.
Basically,
Beautiful.
Basically, you're saying, madam, आपने क्या बात है? आपने कुछ नहीं किया.
आपने कुछ नहीं किया.
आपने makeup
So
नहीं किया
easy.
मेरे पास.
Thank you so much, you guys, for doing this. It's always so fun to hang out with all of you. Now Anushka's blocking my view of Malini, but I will. Yeah. She like mat dekho kisi aur ko.
Okay, so why don't we get all the girls to come quickly and we'll take a quick photo.